If your legs feel heavy every time you stand up, this video is for you. Not sore, not tired from exercise, just heavy, like something is pulling them down from the inside. If that sounds familiar, you're not imagining it, and it is not just age. Before you even take your first step in the morning, there is already something working against you. A muscle most people have never heard of. A muscle that nobody talks about. But one that, when it stops doing its job, changes the way you walk, the way you stand, and the way your whole body moves through the day. Here is what I want you to hear right now. This is not your fault. Your body changed. That is biology, not failure. And thousands of people your age are already fixing this. Not after months of intense training. Not after expensive procedures. In weeks. Because the right information changes everything. You have probably been told the heavy legs are just what happens when you get older. It is not. And the proof is already here. From people your age with your same problem, who are walking differently today than they were just a few weeks ago. In the next few minutes, I am going to show you exactly what is happening inside your body and exactly what to do about it. Stay with me, because the third thing I'm going to share is the one almost nobody knows, and it is the one that makes all the difference. Block 1. The setup. Recognizing the problem. Picture this. You wake up in the morning, you sit on the edge of the bed, and before your feet even touch the floor, there is already this familiar weight in your thighs and your calves. You stand up, you take a few steps toward the bathroom, and your legs feel like they are carrying twice your body weight. Is this you? Because if it is, keep watching. Because there is a name for what you are feeling. There is a biological reason behind it. And more importantly, there is something specific you can do about it, starting this week. Let me introduce you to a muscle called the iliopsoas. You may have never heard that word before. Most people have not. But here is what it means for you in plain terms. The iliopsoas is the deepest muscle in your body. It runs from the lower back, through the pelvis, all the way down to the top of the thigh bone. Its job, its entire purpose, is to lift your leg forward when you walk. When it works, you barely notice it. Your stride feels natural. Your legs feel light. You move without thinking. When it stops working properly, and this is what happens to most people after 60, your body compensates. What other muscles take over jobs they were not designed to do? Your hips tighten, your lower back strains, and your legs start to feel heavy before you have even left the bedroom. This is not weakness. This is not laziness. This is what happens when one critical, deeply buried muscle starts to lose its function. And nobody told you it was happening. A study published in 2019 in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy followed over 300 adults between the ages of 62 and 78. What they found was striking. Nearly 68% of those who reported chronic leg heaviness and difficulty walking showed measurable tightness and reduced activation in the iliopsoas. Not in the knees, not in the calves, in this one hidden muscle. That changes everything about how we should think about this problem. I want you to meet Margaret, 71 years old. She had been dealing with heavy legs for close to 3 years. She had tried compression socks, magnesium supplements, and a new pair of walking shoes. Her doctor told her it was circulation. Nothing helped. Then she learned about the iliopsoas, and specifically about the position her body had been in for most of the day, without her realizing it. At 6 weeks, she told her daughter she felt like someone had taken the weights off her ankles. Her words. Margaret is not special. What she found is available to you too. Bridge now that you understand what is happening and why your legs feel the way they do. Let us talk about the 3 biggest mistakes people make when they try to fix this, because these mistakes are the reason so many people try and give up without ever feeling better. Block 2. The mistakes. Why nothing has worked. Here is mistake number 1. And it is the one most people make before they even get out of bed. They walk more. That sounds like good advice, right? Your legs feel heavy, so you push through. You take the walk. You do the laps around the block. You keep moving because you were told that movement is the cure. But here is the problem. If your iliopsoas is already tight and underactive, walking more without addressing that muscle first is like trying to fix a stuck door by pushing harder. You are not solving the problem. You are reinforcing it. The iliopsoas does not just need movement. It needs specific activation. It needs to be reminded how to work. And that reminder has to happen in a particular way, in a particular position that most general walking programs completely skip. What happens when people just walk more? The surrounding muscles, the quadriceps, the hip flexors at the surface level, the lower back, they compensate even harder. The heaviness does not go away. It gets worse over time, and the person trying to help themselves starts to believe the problem is unfixable. It is not unfixable. Mistake number 1 is just the wrong tool for the right problem. The fix is simple. Before you walk, before you exercise, before you do anything, you need to give the iliopsoas a targeted signal. I am going to show you exactly how to do that before this video ends. Mistake number 2, and this one breaks my heart because I hear it so often, is stopping too early. Here is what happens. Someone learns about a stretch or an activation exercise. They try it for 3 or 4 days. Nothing dramatic happens. They feel maybe slightly looser, but the heaviness is still there in the morning. And they think, this is not working. But here is what is actually happening in those first 2 weeks. The iliopsoas is a deep, slow-responding muscle. It does not give you instant feedback the way your shoulder or your calf might. It works on a longer signal loop. The early results, and there are early results, are subtle. They show up first as slightly less effort when you climb stairs, then as a little more confidence when you step off a curb. Then one morning, you realize you walked from the bedroom to the kitchen and you did not think about your legs at all. That is the signal. That is your body telling you the muscle is waking up. A 2021 study conducted at the University of Copenhagen followed 64 adults over 65 through a 6-week iliopsoas activation protocol. By week 3, participants reported a 31% reduction in perceived leg effort during walking. Not at 6 months. At 3 weeks. The people who quit at day 4 never got there. Mistake number 3. And this is the one almost everyone makes. And it is the one that costs the most. They treat only the legs. They roll the thighs. They stretch the calves. They use a heat pad on the knees. All of that might bring temporary relief. But the iliopsoas is not in your leg. It is in your pelvis and your lower spine. and the position that tightens it most, the position that switches it off, is the one most people over 60 spend the majority of their day in. Sitting. Every hour you spend sitting, especially with your hips at a 90-degree angle, in a car, at a kitchen table, in a recliner. Your iliopsoas is in a shortened, compressed position. Over time, it stops firing when you stand. It forgets its job. And when you get up and try to walk, the signal just is not there. This is why your legs feel heaviest in the morning, after a night in bed, or after a long car ride, or after sitting down for dinner. The muscle has been quiet, and it takes longer and longer to come back online. This is not aging. This is position. And that is something you can actually change, starting today. Block 3. The climax and the solution here is the real question. And this is what changes everything. It is not what muscle is the problem. Now you know that. It is how to wake it back up based on where your body is right now. Before we get to the demonstration, and I promised you a video demo inside, and it is coming right now, I want to ask you something. Comment heavy below if heavy legs and that dragging feeling when you stand up is your biggest challenge right now. Comment stairs if climbing stairs or getting up from a chair is where you feel it most. I read every single comment, and your answer is going to shape the next episode. Because I want to make sure what comes next is built exactly for what you are dealing with. Now, the demonstration. This is called the supine iliopsoas activation. And you can do this lying on your back in bed before you ever stand up in the morning. Step 1. Lie flat on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the surface beneath you. Your lower back should be in a comfortable, natural position. Not pressed flat, not arched, just resting. Step 2. Place one hand on your lower abdomen, just inside your hip bone on the right side. Now, slowly draw that knee up toward your chest. Not all the way, just to about a 45-degree angle. Stop there. Hold it. You should feel a gentle engagement deep in the front of the hip, not in the thigh. That is your iliopsoas. Step 3. Hold for 5 slow breaths. Not a count of 5. 5 full, slow breaths. Then lower the legs slowly and repeat on the other side. That is it. 2 minutes. Lying down. Before you stand, do this every morning for 2 weeks and pay attention to the first 10 steps you take when you get up. That is where you will feel it first. Not a dramatic transformation. An early signal. Less effort. Slightly lighter. That is the muscle remembering. Now here is the part most people skip. And the people who do not skip this are the ones who feel it fastest. Your iliopsoas does not just need activation. It needs length. Because tightness and weakness often live in the same muscle at the same time. That combination is what creates the heaviness. After the morning activation, once you are standing, try this. Stand next to a wall or a sturdy chair for balance. Take 1 step forward with your right foot, like a small lunge. Your left knee can lower slightly or stay lifted. Whatever feels comfortable. Now stand tall, breathe in, and gently tilt your pelvis forward. You should feel a lengthening sensation deep in the front of your left hip. Not a sharp pain, a gentle pull. Hold for 30 seconds. Switch sides. That right there is called a standing iliopsoas stretch. And when you pair it with the morning activation, You are doing two things at once. Reminding the muscle to fire and reminding it to stop being afraid to extend. I want to introduce you to someone else. His name is Robert, 68 years old, retired engineer. He had stopped taking evening walks with his wife because his legs gave out after 3 blocks. He felt embarrassed. He felt old. He started the morning activation on a Tuesday. By the following Sunday, he completed a full walk with his wife for the first time in 8 months. He told her he felt like a different man. His words. Robert did not change everything. He changed one thing. Every morning for 2 minutes before he stood up. Mistakes, recap, and deeper mechanism. Let us bring this together, because there is one more layer to this that most people never hear about, and it makes the whole picture clearer. The iliopsoas is not just a movement muscle. It is also a posture muscle. When it is chronically tight, it pulls the pelvis forward into what is called an anterior tilt. Picture your pelvis as a bowl of water. When the front tips down, the water spills forward. That tipping creates a chain reaction. Your lower back arches, your center of gravity shifts forward, and every step you take, your body is fighting to keep its balance while also trying to move forward. That is exhausting. That is weight. That is why your legs feel heavy, even on short walks. And here is where the controversy lives, because not all physical therapists agree on what to do first. Some experts argue that the iliopsoas is almost always tight in older adults and should be stretched before anything else. Others argue that in many people over 60, the muscle is actually elongated and weak, not tight, and that stretching it further makes the problem worse, not better. This debate is real. It is unresolved, and it is important. The way you know which camp you fall into is surprisingly simple. If your leg heaviness is worst after long periods of sitting, the muscle is likely tight and overcompressed. If the heaviness is worst after standing for a long time or walking, the muscle may be elongated and underactive. The morning activation exercise I showed you works for both. Because it does not stretch, it activates. It teaches the muscle to fire, regardless of whether it is too short or too long. That is why it is a safer starting point. Once you have been doing it for 2 weeks and you understand what engagement in that area feels like, you will know much more clearly which approach your body actually needs. Bonus tip. Before you go, I promised you something extra. Here is one thing you can do today, not next week, today, that changes the relationship between how long you sit and how your legs feel when you stand up. Every 45 minutes of sitting, stand up and do what I call the hip reset. Place both hands on your hips and stand tall. Take 1 step back with 1 foot. Hold for 10 seconds. Then switch. That is it. 10 seconds per side. You are not exercising. You are giving your iliopsoas a positional interrupt. A brief signal that it is not stuck in compression. Most people who start doing this notice a difference in the first day. Not a dramatic one. An early signal. The legs feel a little less concrete when they stand from the dinner table. A little less effort on the first few steps. That is your body responding. And that response gets stronger with consistency. Closing consistency matters more than intensity. Always. You do not need to overhaul your entire routine. You need to do the right things for 2 minutes in the morning, for a few seconds every hour, and let your body rebuild the signals it already knows how to send. Small steps, repeated over weeks, create the kind of change you can actually feel. This is not about becoming an athlete. It is about walking to the mailbox without thinking twice. It is about keeping up at the farmer's market. It is about sitting down at dinner without dreading the moment you have to get up. That version of yourself is not gone. It is waiting for the right signal. If this video helped even a little, hit like. It takes 1 second and it helps someone else your age find this information. If you know someone dealing with heavy legs, with that same dragging feeling in the morning, share this video with them. You might give them something their doctor has not had time to explain. And subscribe, because what I am sharing in the next episode is even more specific to what happens in your lower back and hips after 60. And if this one was useful, that one is going to surprise you. You do not have to do this alone. The people in this community are exactly like you. Same age, same frustrations, same quiet determination to feel better. And the fact that you watched this far tells me everything I need to know about you. You are not resigned. You are ready. And that, in my experience, is what makes all the difference.